everyone, it's Kelly. I have a project that I want to share with you, and it's a tissue box that I made for my daughter for her room. I got the idea from the Disney Family Fun magazine, and I had some cardboard laying around, so I drew out the template and I made it so that there was enough room at the bottom that you could put the tissue box in. And so as you can see, the tissues come out the chimney, and this idea came, the color scheme then was actually from the Paris apartment line from the paper studio, and I got that at Hobby Lobby, and it actually has all the colors of her room in. So the first thing that I did was I chose my papers. The background paper that I chose was a couple of different patterns, and it actually was, first of all, this background of the street lamp and the bicycle. I thought it was really cute, and her room is yellow and pinks, but I really like this background paper for part of the cottage, and I thought about making it a cottage, a little house with doors and windows, but after seeing the paper, I decided that I wanted to do it like a little city theme. So that's how the idea came for this background paper, and then I just adhered it the whole way around. And if I were to do it differently, I would use a more plain background paper on this. But once I had done it, it was hard to take off, and I didn't think about it before I adhered some of the things on how busy it is. So I would not choose this again if I had to do it over. But I took some white paint and some white Lindy's Glimmer Mist, and I sprayed it down to tone down the blues and the purples in the paper. And like I said, you can still see it, but it was really, really bold, bright colors before. So it did bring it down just a little bit. Then what I did was I started in the back, and I fussy cut another street lamp, and I popped it up on pop dots to give it the illusion of a street, two sides of the street. And then I put a little tiny bit of trim from MB's Treasurista and the little carnations here to make it look like a basket for the bicycle. And I wanted to do windows, and I bought these actually at Michael's, and they were cards, and they had this window shape on it, and it says sunshine. So I basically just fussy cut those out, and I used my Martha Stewart punch, my scallop along the edge punch, and I made shutters for the side. And then this is just a rosette trim that I had in my stash, and I used that to go a whole way along the bottom. I also used that on the underside of the roof. And then this was pearl trim from MB's Treasurista, and the organza trim from MB's Treasurista, and also the little carnations. I thought it was adorable, like a little planter on the window. And then I just put some extra bling up here, but you don't really see it. And the trim for the roof, I decided to do an eyelet trim, and it was all white. So I actually spray painted it in pink, and then I glimmer misted over it. And then this butterfly is just from MB's Treasurista. And then I constructed the chimney out of cardboard. I covered it in paper from the paper collection, and then I put it needed to pop a little bit more, so I put bling, mesh bling over it, and that was from MB's Treasurista store. And then on the front, this has the pink trim, and it's not perfect. I mean, the roof definitely could have used a little bit better construction. It was pretty crazy to work with having to create my own template. It was a little bit difficult, but it's okay. It's okay. I think it turned out okay. And then I did the same exact thing on this side. I just used a different color of butterfly and the same little planter. And I don't know if I said this, the window says sunshine. So I thought that was cute. I pretty much did those the same just to keep it cohesive on both sides. So I want to tell you a little bit about the front. This is my favorite part. I cut the Eiffel Tower out of the paper collection because that's one of my favorite little pieces, and my daughter and I are both into Eiffel Towers. And then I took some of the bling from my Jolie's bling stash and I added it to the Eiffel Tower. And I like to do, a lot of what I do, I like to do in threes when I'm doing construction with flowers or something, because I think that it just looks really finished. And so then I had some open space up here on the left, and I didn't know what to do with it. It was one of the last things that I had done, and I thought, you know what, I don't want to take away from the Eiffel Tower. I don't want to take away from the Gorjuss girl, because she's my very first Gorjuss girl image, and I'll tell you about her a little bit later. But I thought I wanted it to just look like a little scene from just a little Paris scene. So that was basically just drawn out clouds and fussy cut. So I did that on my own, and I think it turned out really cute. I love the idea of the clouds to make it just look like a scene instead of trying to fill it with some empty space. So this Gorjuss girl I picked because my daughter likes to wear these little leggings, and she likes to wear these little arm wraps. And this is my very first Gorjuss girl, and I thought she just reminded me so much of my daughter and how she likes to dress. So I purchased her from what used to be iCopic.com, and it's actually now markerpop.com, but that's where I purchased her from, and she was one of the very new Gorjuss girls. And then I popped her up in front of the Eiffel Tower, and I paper pieced her dress from the collection, and then I put some I'm roses here, and then I added some of the little carnations from MB's store, and then I put some little pearl, this is actually cut from the pearl trim here, and I added 3 little sprigs of pearls sticking out of the little flower spray, and then I added a flower over here with another little carnation here and here. So that's my, oh, I took some of the rosette trim also from here, and I added it to her hair, and I Copic colored her headband to match the paper piece dress. So that's the tissue box that I made for her and for her room. I'll have a picture show up of the beginning. Well, I'll probably put that at the beginning, so you'll have already seen the picture show of the beginning to the end and the pictures. I'll try to get some close-ups. I'm borrowing this camera from a friend and figuring out if it's one that I want to use or not. I'm not completely sure, just because it doesn't do close-ups as well as I had hoped. So thank you everyone for watching, and this is my project, my little Gorjuss girl with her Eiffel Tower tissue box. So thanks everyone, and have a great weekend. Bye!